Hi there. After a long day in Fresno yesterday looking at several different opportunities, I'm happy to say we acquired our second flip. I don't know about you, but I find when I really start to attack something, it takes a long time to get the first one moving. In this case, I think it took us 6 or 7 weeks and probably 100 offers to find our first flip, which we successfully acquired last week. But lo and behold, as often happens, we got the second deal going. I think it was 6 or 7 days later. So just keep plugging away. Again, this real estate investing that you're choosing to do takes time. It offers lots of off ramps for people that aren't focused and committed to stop. Right? I could have stopped after 100 offers and had nothing, but lo and behold, we kept with it, got the first one, and here we go, got the second one. So if you've seen the video of their first flip, we're going to do the same thing, review the property in details, sort of the story behind the story. We're going to give you the raw numbers and my estimates. I do this both to sort of share reality with you, but also to hold myself accountable. Sort of sharing this stuff with the world means that I have targets I need to aim at. Also happy to say that looks like we have our second investment partner from our personal friends and family network who wants to take some cash that's not earning any interest and put it to work. And of course, we'll keep you all updated on what's going on. Remember earlier when I said relationships matter, and what I mean by earlier is one of the earlier videos I talked about real estate being a people business. And in this case, in this particular opportunity, I found this transaction from the number one wholesaler in Fresno. So a wholesaler is someone who finds a distressed owner, locks up a property at a decent price, and then will assign that to someone who's going to be a cash buyer in this case. And as you might imagine, just like during the REO craze of 6 or 7 years ago, where there were certain agents that controlled inventory, there's only a few wholesalers in any market, in my opinion, who really has a dedicated sort of process, marketing system, follow up. Likely has a team that is, doing thousands of different mailers and whatnot to find the one thing. And so it was important for me to meet this wholesaler, but also to perform when given an opportunity. That being easy to do business with for the wholesaler is probably number one, and doing what you say is probably 1A, 1B. Again, it's a people business. I want to become the top 3 or 4 people this wholesaler calls when they find an opportunity. More importantly, I am communicating with this wholesaler that there's a kind of type of property I like, so that hopefully I go from hey, give me a deal, to if you find A or B, call me, right? So maybe I'll, instead of being in the top 5, I can be in the top 1 or 2 for that kind of property. So again, being as upfront with you as I can, this individual locked it up at $45,000 and has agreed to assign it to me for what will be a net of, or a gross of, $70,000. Think about that. He made roughly or make $25,000 profit, and you can't be mad at somebody who's doing all the work, and frankly the hardest part of this, the work to get this done. He deserves this, and this is what wholesalers do. So I think it's a tremendous thing. Again, I wanted to bring up because a lot of people keep coming to me and saying, hey, how do I get started with no money down? Or I have no money, no credit, blah, blah, blah. And this is an example of an individual who did the work, was focused on trying to find situations where there may be a motivated seller, found one, locked it up with a simple contract, and then is assigning it to me for a profit. That didn't take any cash from him. Now, in this case, because he's the number one guy, I'm sure he has a marketing budget and probably has a team and all of that. But anyone out there could take the time to walk around their neighborhood, note addresses, and try to find the owners, and look for situations where there's motivated sellers. So, in this case, I don't know about you, but $25,000 profit would be a great thing. So in this case, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, 884 square feet. It is occupied by squatters. Again, in this house, when you would buy it, has trash in the front yard, trash in the backyard, trash in the house. It clearly has been lived in hard for quite some time, certainly months, and clearly the owner is tired of dealing with it. The good news is trash. What's called a trash out is not that expensive. I'm sure for $300 or $400, I can make all that trash go away, and then we just deal with the squatters. And the good news is, we're obviously 100% comfortable. It's not my first time. It's there's a a cash for keys kind of process and or an eviction depending on how the squatters choose to deal with it. If they just want to move on to the next vacant house, so be it. If not, perfectly happy going through whatever the process happens to be. Note that when I say I'm 100% comfortable, I should be honest and say my team is comfortable. I won't do a single thing. Right, my job is to find capital and secure deals. I think this house is going to take 20K. It certainly could be as low as 15. I want to estimate high because you never know what may happen. But again, for that, in my market, we're going to obviously paint the inside and outside. We're going to clean up the floors. They were actually wood floors. Hopefully we can just clean those up. If not, we'll lay laminate on top. They're going to get a new kitchen, which I mean by that is a simple set of cheap cabinets, countertop, probably that fake granite or whatever that is. We're going to gut the bathroom, right? So put in a new floor, a new toilet, new sink, new tub, new shower, and again we'll also likely put tile in the kitchen. So you get a lot done in a house that small for about $20,000, and basically be a brand new house. So here it is. It's the one on the right there, the white house with blue trim. It's a nice bright blue trim. It's again 2 bedroom, 1 bath. You can see just a part of the trash, and I took the picture this way so that there wouldn't be people in the view. The people that were squatting were actually in the front yard, so I wanted to be respectful of that. So the actual purchase price for me is $68,000, but because I'm going through a wholesaler, I also have to assume or pay for the closing costs. The wholesaler was just going to get a number. They're not paying any of the costs, so I'm paying both the buyer and seller side of closing, which I'm going to estimate at $2,000 for a total investment of $70,000 is how I come to the purchase price of $70,000. I'm going to estimate that the make ready is 20 grand. Again, I think that could be high. But again, I want to make sure that we have the best opportunity to put it out there and hit these good numbers. So it's going to be $90,000 total investment, and I estimate that the price will sell somewhere between $120 and $140, with the estimated selling cost of $10,000. So in this case, $130,000 sale price, which again is kind of the middle, minus $90,000 up front. $10,000 in closing costs leaves a profit of $30,000. So again, $30,000. This could be a very quick flip at between 2 and 3 months, and again, it all depends on how the squatters choose to go after, and whether they want to just take a couple of dollars and go away, or if they want to fight the process. And you just never know until you actually own the property and go have that conversation. So here's the numbers. Again, friend of mine wants to be a partner on this. They have a bunch of cash, not earn anything, kind of like the whole crap analogy of cash rich, asset poor. He wants to put some of that to work. He's going to participate in the 6 and 20 program, which again is very beneficial to my friends and family, where they get 6% on their investment, in this case of 70 grand, for the total hold period. Which we talk about. We'll write up the note for up to a year, but always we expect to get this done less than that. In this case, 6% of $70,000 is $350 a month. The exit on this one is going to be interesting because we're going to repair it to a level of an FHA buyer, which means it's really a done and clean property. The new buyer doesn't have to come in and do anything. But I think this one may either go to an FHA buyer or an investor. The low end of the market in Fresno has almost no inventory, and there's a lot of bidding pressure on this part of the market. So I only expect that to accelerate as we get in and through the summer. So it's very likely this could either become an investor's bread and butter rental. Probably a 2-1 in this area would rent for $850 to $900. Or it's going to sell to an FHA buyer. It's interesting. An FHA buyer in Fresno likely can move in, buy a house for less than the deposit in first month's rent of a rental. Right? They're going to come in for 3%. or less. So again, it's a good part of the market to be in if you can find the distressed asset and clean it up. So again, then upon the close of the sale and everybody's paid up, right, the $78,000 goes back to the investor. I recoup my out-of-pocket make-ready costs. There's a profit left over after commissions of roughly $30,000. The investor will go ahead and pocket an additional $6,000. So that's the story of our second flip. I do have a third one that is possible around the corner, but we won't create those videos until it's all locked up. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, leave a comment, or ask a question, and as always, please share this video with friends and family.